Today, I am going to be setting up my reading journal for the month of August. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are here for the first time, my name is Tracy and I want to thank you all so much for stopping by. So yes, I am going to set up my reading journal for the month of August. I am currently using a B5 Archer and Olive. I really do like this size. I think I have to stick to like a B5 or square. I don't think I can do an A5 for a reading journal. I like to decorate. It really has nothing to do with reading reviews because I'm kind of struggling there, but I like to decorate. So that's the reason why I need the bigger one. So when I was trying to figure out a theme, I saw that I think it's August the 9th as National Book Lovers Day. So I remember I have these like decorative sheets from Cora Korea Crafts. It was from the writing box that she did earlier this month, but we have some this is definitely like a library type thing. So I think I'm going to use one of those. Plus I have all of these stickers that I got probably this time last year from the Journal Junk Box. So I think I'm going to use those. I have PET tape from the Washi Tape Shop, from Cora Korea Crafts, from Wrong, plus an abundance of washi and stuff like that. So we're just going to just decorate and have fun. This is going to be the title page, so I'm just going to keep it simple. Probably like this with some layering and things like that. Over here is where I'm going to do my calendar. That's where I keep track of the books I read and when I'm reading them. Then we'll start kind of playing around with my TBR, mostly when it comes to reading challenges that I'm doing this month. And then we'll kind of leave this page open for my monthly wrap up. So to kind of see how I do things, this is the month of July. I did not do a good job of keeping track of the books. I didn't even write one of the books that I read down in here. And I don't think I can go back and actually like tap it in either. I might be able to look at my Kindle on my Kindle app on my phone to see, but if not, I'm just going to let it be. I just was not very consistent with reading this month, which is fine. I chose the TV over books this month, but I did finish 4 books. And I did fill this out. I just need to color it in. But yeah, so I will go over my stats and talk about some of the books I read while I am actually filling this one out. But I just kind of wanted to show you how I set it up. So with that said, I think we should just go ahead and get started, right? So just a quick recap of the books that I read in the month of July. As I said, I completed 4 books. 2 of them were part of a series. They were the Legends of Thesmar series. There's 4 books total in that series, and I read the 3rd and 4th one in July. I usually do not read parts of the same series like back to back. I like to take a little bit of a break. I find that it helps me digest the books I read a little bit better. I don't know why, but I feel like if I read books in a series back to back, it just becomes too much. But with the ending of the 3rd book, and I knew there was only 1 book left, I just jumped right into it. And I'm so glad I did. This is just such a good series, y'all. It is a romantasy series, but I would say it's like more heavily on the fantasy with definitely big pieces of the romance in there. But you're really following the female main character. It is her story. She is one strong woman. It's just a great series. I can't really talk too much about it because these are the last books in the series. So anything I say, I feel like might give away some of the earlier books. But the 3rd book, Fate and Furies, I gave that 4.75 stars. It was just shy of the 5 stars just because the beginning of book 3 was a little slow. And the female main character had me so frustrated at times toward that like first 10% of the book that I was just like, I just couldn't do the 5 stars. But I did give 5 stars to the 4th book. And I was very satisfied with how it wrapped up. I felt like it wrapped up in a good way, but it wasn't like one of those books where they try to put a little bow and tie up everything. It just gave you just enough to kind of know what happens and what goes on. I believe there's going to be a spinoff series, so I'm sure we'll kind of get more into it, which is why this one might not have been like, oh, we're going to close all the gaps for you or make a happy ever after type thing. So I really enjoyed that. I really liked the ending. I thought it closed up enough of the plot while still kind of leaving other things like, I wonder what's going to happen there. So yes, I will be reading the spinoff when it happens. I did read a standalone I read Blood Over Brighthaven. This one is a very hard genre for me to figure out what it is. I guess it's like dark academia. It definitely has like magic and things in it. It is like fantasy. It's not romantasy at all. So it does have that fantasy element, but you're not really dealing like with monsters or anything of that nature. So it's not like your other types of romantasy or high fantasy type stories. This was a very, very good book. A lot of people are rating this like 4.5, 5 stars. There are a lot of 5-star reads I see on this book. I gave it 4 stars just because there was just there was probably like a large chunk at about like the 25-30% mark where it just dragged. And I contemplated putting the book down. And if I put it down, I didn't know if I was going to pick it back up. But I'm so glad I pushed it through because this was just a great book. It kind of deals with like issues in society and like classes of people and things of that nature with the kind of magic element. Very, very interesting. I have never read anything like this, so it was definitely thought-provoking as well. Again, you have a strong female main character. She goes through a lot emotionally. I think it's a very good read. I will say it was like a little over 400 pages. It felt very long just because some of it was confusing because she was talking about how she like did the computations to do magic. And I'm like, do I really need to know this? I don't think I need to know all of this. So that's like what kind of like dragged it on at parts for me. So that's why I gave it the 4 stars. But overall, I highly recommend it. Actually, every book I read this month, I highly recommend. And then I read the second book in the Red Queen series. Yes, I am so late to the game. I only started reading this series because I was looking for an audiobook and they're available at my library pretty much all the time. So I read Glass Sword, which is the second book in this Red Queen series. I didn't like it as much as the first book, so I gave this one 3.75 stars. But I thought it was a really good follow-up. It definitely progressed the plot, which some follow-ups or like your second books kind of, I don't want to say drag, but they feel like more like an afterthought. I mean, that first book was so good that it's kind of hard to measure up to that. This definitely progressed the story, and I'm really, really like ready to read the third one, or should I say listen to the third book in the series. So I think I'm going to do all of these on audio. I do enjoy the audio version of it. And like I said, they do appear to be readily available in my library. So yeah, I gave that one 3.75. That's more of a young adult fantasy. So if you're looking for something that is definitely on the lighter side as far as romance, there is like slow burn. Actually, there's no burn. But like if that's like more of your jam, I highly recommend it if you haven't already read it, because like I said, I am late to the game. All right, so now I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit about the books that I think I may read as part of my annual readathons. So they all have prompts, and I have went ahead. I have chosen some books that fit those prompts. But we'll have to see whether or not I'm going to read them. One of them I'm sure about. The other two, I have no idea what these books are. So time will only tell. But for the first readathon, which is the Year of Goober, which is hosted by Joshi Corinne, the prompt is to read a physical book, which is something I need to get back to because I am an ebook reader. But I really, really, really want to finish the Throne of Glass series. I love that series. But because I own the physical copies and not the ebook copies, I'm like struggling to like pull it off my shelf because I hate reading in my bed with a physical book. I really like an e-reader. But the next book is going to be Queen of Shadows. I will get to that this month. I think I'm going to start that tonight. So yay, trucking through, right? And then for the buzzword challenge or the buzzword readathon, the prompt this month is to read a book with the word with, W-I-T-H, in the title. This was a little tough for me, so I did have to go to Storygraph and go to the challenge page and click on the prompt and kind of read suggestions. And as someone who prefers fantasy type books, I kind of found one that piqued my interest. It is called Fly with the Arrow. It is not a very popular book. It's not really well known. It doesn't have as many ratings, but it sounded interesting. It's based off a fairy tale that I don't even know. And I think it might have some humor in it. I'm not sure. Obviously, because I've never heard of it, I don't know much about it. So I'm kind of going into this one somewhat blind. I just know it's based on a fairy tale. So we'll have to see if I actually read this one. I am kind of intrigued by it just because of the fact that I think it does have some humor in it, which, you know, is sometimes nice in a book. And then for the Adventures in Aldea challenge, the prompt that I had, because everybody has taken different paths, so there's like 9 or 10 different prompts, but my prompt is the word light in the title, Light. And this one was tough. So I just did a Kindle search and started going down the list and seeing if I could find any fantasy books. And then I found 2 where the titles sounded interesting and the little blurb was interesting enough, but these are also not very popular. So they have very limited ratings. And when I say limited, I mean less than 200. The first one is The Light of Blood. And the second one is Crown of Light and Ashes. So yeah, we'll have to see how this goes, y'all. I will definitely let you know during the September wrap up. Guys, there we go. So this is like a more vintagey book spread. After I started, adding stuff to the page, I ended up adding a lot from the Washi Tape Shop's PET tape. I think it's like Cats and Books or something of that nature. I will have this link down in the description box if I can find it. I do have an affiliate link as well as a discount code for the Washi Tape Shop as well as for Archer and Olive. So definitely be sure to check down in the description box for all of that information because it will save you a little bit of money. But yeah, I liked how this turned out. These here is going to be left blank. I'm not sure what I'm going to include in it. This past month, I just kind of included a little bit of snippets. Basically, I wrote down my 5-star read, how many, my progress on my current readathons. I finished a series, so I wanted to write the series that I finished. So that's kind of what it is going to be. It's just going to be random things that, I want to highlight based on my month of reading. So there we go. And then these are already kind of pre-filled to some extent. These will be my pie charts for my pages read, the format of the book, and then the star rating. And then this is for my series, duologies, and standalones. And then this will be my overall stats. So there we go, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press that like button. If you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.